Sponsored by Meatballs. All right, we're live on YouTube and Facebook. Going live momentarily on Instagram. Hold, please. Hold.
See if Instagram kicks us off today.
Going live on Instagram.
Steven's with us today.
And we're live on Instagram. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hope everyone's well. Excuse me eating meatballs. Michael. All right, we're live on.
That's me too.
You guys got volume. Killing me.
Who needs volume?
Killing me.
I thought that was me. I was about to yell at myself.
No, you're fine, Ted. You're perfect. You couldn't do anything wrong.
Oh, shucks.
See,
again.
It's on all.
Michael.
Yes, come on.
Isn't he the media guy?
You should know better.
We got Nate chewing meatballs into the mic. We got Mike with everything turned up full blast. We got me with a cold and I sound like garbage. Today's episode is going to be amazing.
PP is in the house, though. So, What's up, PP?
P squared.
What's going on?
It's one of those moments. We're back, baby.
We're back.
We're
What's
back.
up, everybody?
Everybody's like, you should have stayed away.
North Up Peter from TA is in Instagram right now. He
Nice.
said, "What's up?" Representing. Yo, what's going on, North Up Peter?
The TA.
J Bada one says, "Hey, how are you?" We're well, J Bada, except for Greg. He's dying from a cold.
Not dying. It's a little dramatic.
He's acting like he's dying.
Well, typical man. You get a cold. It's pretty
right.
much like
Man cold.
Man cold. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But he did bring donuts.
Did bring donuts.
He did bring donuts.
He did.
Where's my donuts? I didn't get any.
You decided you are choosing to live in communist territory.
Not our fault.
I think our donuts.
They're probably illegal.
Yeah, they're probably legal there
in
too,
Rhode
right?
Island.
I still need a tax
definitely.
stamp, too.
You have to get a tax stamp to get a donut in Rhode Island.
Get background check.
There is extra tax on ice cream.
Oh, you've got to be kidding.
That's
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, sugar
Nope.
tax.
Swear to
Send
God.
that.
Yeah, Rhode Island has a 7% tax, sales tax, but on ice cream, it's 8%.
That's why you're asking for an 8% raise.
Good Lord.
Your sugar intake.
I call it a scooping tax. That's not what they call
Scooping
it.
tax.
That's what I call it.
per scoop.
Thanks, PP. We missed you guys too.
It's awful.
All right. You ready to kick
All right.
this thing off?
Yeah, we probably should. This is going to keep getting weirder.
Let's kick it off, boys. That means that's
That's your.
Stand by.
your-
I'm
your
pulling up my-
cue. Look at
pulling
it.
up my-
Yeah.
that's your thing.
All right.
Here we go. We're back.
Welcome to Life, Liberty, and Equip Podcast. I'm Greg Davis, founder of Neomag and a firm believer that life is worth living boldly, liberty should be used for good, and we all have a calling to be equipped to pursue it. Every week we explore what it means to live with intention and carry the tools and mindset that prepare us for whatever comes. We'll dive into topics around the freedoms we cherish, the gear we trust, and the skills that equip us. This is more than a podcast, it's a mission. Life, liberty, and equipped to pursue it. We're coming to you live on the Neomag YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook accounts. We'll be bringing our live comments into the conversation today. So if you're listening to the recorded podcast, you can catch us every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern and be part of the live. You can get involved with us on our Discord server. Link is in the chat and show notes. If you're part of the Neomag Insiders Club, we will have a discount code ready for you later in the show. Insiders Club is free to join, and you'll get access to exclusive episodes, discounts, and more. You can sign up using the pop-up on our website at theneomag.com. Also hosting with me today is Mr. Tiberius Giblin,
Howdy.
Mr. Nate Hills,
What's going on, everybody?
and Mr. Michael Billings.
What's up, everybody?
Let's get started.
Life isn't just the big moments, it's the everyday joys worth protecting. Family, friends, and community. Let's talk about what makes life rich.
Do that.
He has such a nice
I missed
voice.
him.
Yeah. I know. We introduced him 2 weeks ago, and then we left him.
Left him in the dirt.
Left him.
We're back.
Home Depot.
Good
is
thing he's AI and
Always
fake.
Yeah. So what's new, everybody? It's been we took last week off, so we should have even more to talk about.
well, actually, everyone but me was not available on Wednesday.
Yeah, at least you were working.
I was working.
Appreciate that.
Welcome. No problem.
Yeah, we were. Michael, where were you at?
So we went to Kentucky. We went to the Red River Gorge.
Who's we?
Me and mi madre, my mother, we took a vacation. I was like Saturday through Friday. We went to zip line. We went to the natural rock bridges, which there are
That's so
apparently
cool.
a ton of them.
That's
there.
one of my favorite places to go.
We went.
I've been there
We
several
did.
times.
We did so much. It was absolutely amazing trip. The zip lining was a blast. We were going to skydive, but like it was either a tattoo or a skydive, but it was a 2+ hour drive, and weather wasn't formidable for us to go. So I'll get her one day. But Kentucky was amazing. I absolutely had a blast. Came back, went to Cincinnati, got to hit the tunnel for IFLY. Actually got off the ground.
So you weren't just riding in your belly this time?
No, this time it was like, all right, like he had to like pull me back down and then let go. And he's like, okay, you're starting to understand it.
Nice.
So I went from rookie to rookie status level 1. Still didn't get signed off on anything. And then PA, I had the major, my third major.
How'd that go?
Good and bad. I found out how one stage or one thing that I could practice more can really crush you. Coming into lunchtime, I was 26 points behind the number 1 shooter in my division with 4 stages left. So I was crushing it for where I was at. However, there's so much to learn. I think I can give a lot of the credit to the guys that I was with. Amazing shooters. It's like we're bundled up, huddled up, and like, hey, how are you running your stage? You know, I had great guidance and just good support there. But I did exceptionally well for where I'm at. A lot better to come and a lot more to come. We'll definitely talk about that in the dry fire. But let's just say, don't hit the no shoots.
Yeah, call them no shoots for a reason.
With single hands.
I think they frown upon that, Michael.
Yeah, I got a couple penalties. I got my first zeroed out score on a stage.
What happened?
It was a 90-point stage, so a low point stage. It was a strong hand, free hand, and non-dominant hand. And they were tuxedos and all partial no shoots or partial diagonals. And the off the rip strong hand.
That's rough.
Tacked my first 2. It was an array of 3 and just went Alpha no shoot, Charlie no shoot. And it's like the guys were like, why'd you shoot it so fast? I had plenty of time. And then the next one was at distance left-handed shooting non-dominant hand.
Oof.
I'd been working non-dominant hand, hadn't shot it, but been working it during practice before. It didn't pay off. We need some more practice with it. Needless to say, I hit the black and had mics and deltas. And when you have 2 no shoots, that's minus 15 points per. On top of the mics, I zeroed out. So I learned the hard way. But overall, it was a blast. Like guys I get to shoot with, guys that I call friends, guys that I've gone to events with back and forth. But yeah, I'm excited. We're talking about dry fire today because we're dry fire.
You're spoiling it. Actually, yeah. For a quick, we're gonna talk about some dry fire stuff. So stick around
For that part.
You gotta wait for it.
We'll get there. Tib, what's going on with you?
Last Wednesday, I took off, like we said, and I went to YHM, the suppressor manufacturer up here in New England, and I saw a tour of their factory, and saw how the sausage is made, and it was very clean, very impressive. We went and shot a bunch of suppressors, so that was a good time. Besides that, there's nothing exciting going on in my life. Nothing. So my son's homesick. One of our chickens disappeared. We rented a carpet cleaner and cleaned the carpets.
I'm sure that was gross.
Oh yeah, with the dogs. Yeah, it was overdue. Yeah, that's the most exciting stuff going on in my life. I have my next tattoo appointment on Friday, so that's exciting actually.
Yes.
My monthly appointment to cover my body.
Your monthly checkup.
My monthly check-in. Yeah. Mental health is what it is.
A teardrop, right?
Yeah, I'm getting I'm getting Nate's portrait on one side of my cheek and Michael on the other, and Graig right in the lower back.
Perfect. It's right where I wanted to be.
Yep.
I'm on the right cheek, right?
Whichever one you want.
Right cheek, please.
My right? Or are you looking at it right?
Well, that's the same.
That's true.
I don't know. Well, L is for love, so
I still want to be on the right cheek.
You got it, dude.
Sweet.
I don't want to be anywhere near there.
Steve Bartlett says he wants to pay for that tattoo.
Perfect.
Well, I think it sounds like you're going to get it now.
Can't say
Game,
no to that.
game on.
We could start a fundraiser here.
For tattoos.
Go fund me. Nate's
for,
face on
for
Tip's butt.
Neomax tattoos.
PP said he would chuck in too. We could do
Look at that.
That would hurt, man. Ooh,
Go fund me.
that would be spicy.
That sounds like fun to
That
me.
would be the worst decision you've ever made.
Never.
No.
Be with you forever.
You made worse decisions than that.
Got to set him up there.
Wow.
Type of- all three at the same time would make going to the bathroom interesting for 2 days. Touche.
I do the like the Three Stooges logo.
Oh,
Like the three
yes.
heads. You should do that. With our heads.
That would be good.
That I would do. That would be awesome.
That would be good. Nice.
Perfect. Nate, what's going on with you?
Well, let's see. I've done a lot of sports games. I went to a Guardians game in the last week and a half. Sports ball. That was fun. So it was one of the last home games of the season. They finished out pretty strong for that game, and they finished with an awesome fireworks show. They had a 90s theme for the stadium for the night, and they had the fireworks show along with a music video. I don't know what you'd call it on the big screen.
Yeah.
They had, I guess it was a music video that was along with the fireworks, and it was all 90s themed music and stuff like that. So it was a blast. They did a really good job with that. And then
Nate, who's the Guardians?
that would be what used to be the Cleveland Indians. So baseball. So we went and saw them. That was a week and a half ago. And then I went and saw the Browns home opener, actually.
What did you?
I did on
Sorry to hear that.
Nice.
Sunday. They did what they do best, which is lose.
The
And they
kicker.
lost to the Bengals.
The kicker.
Well, this is what I've been telling everybody. The Browns definitely deserved to lose, and the Bengals definitely did not deserve to win. It was just a poorly played game across the board. We went with a bunch of friends. I was in like the 7th row up from one of the two end zones opposite from the dog pound. So it was really close. It was actually really fun. It was really neat. We got to see the game. We were really close, got to watch everything, but both played awfully. We went to brunch beforehand. All the guys were talking about how the Bengals are going to be one of the best offenses of the season. They just are studs, and they did not show up. Just didn't show up. But the Browns just can't do anything anyways because of the Browns. So it didn't matter. Lost by 1 point. All they needed to do is score one extra point on a field goal, and they couldn't. And they couldn't score they actually could have won had the kicker been able to make a 36-yard field goal. That's it. He missed it twice. Once for the extra point and once for a field goal. He missed it twice. It's literally the same shot, basically, twice. It was awful. So bad.
Special teams, so
Yeah.
important.
My favorite meme going around is it was like, "Are you a Browns kicker?" And there was a yes with a box and a no in a box, and there's all these X's outside of the box.
Yeah. So it was still fun. It was still fun to go to. It's a professional game in a big stadium, and it was a blast. It was all good, but it's also the hard part. And this is the NFL across the board these days. No one's playing their first string in the preseason.
Right.
So none of the first string is getting any practice and getting any cohesive team time in the preseason. So they come in the first 2 or 3 games trying to figure out how they're going to play their game. So they're out of practice. So they're all trying to figure out what end is up for the first 3 games anyways.
Yeah, nobody wants their players to get hurt in a preseason.
Correct.
So they're just I heard that they're talking about cutting back preseason to like 1 game or something like that, or
Yeah, your video froze, guys.
and maybe it looks fine.
Yeah.
Nothing flashing on your camera.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, on YouTube and the back end here, you're both frozen. And
Like you want to flick it off and on
Ty Boomer just said the same thing.
for funsies.
Yeah.
I will do a quick on and off on the camera. We've gone like 2 episodes without anything.
We'll keep talking and
Happen.
see if we get the audio back up. But yeah, that's basically what it was.
And then there's the complete 180. I watched the Steelers game in my lazy boy. I didn't go to the game, and the kicker nails a 60-some yard.
Yeah.
Although they new
still lost, didn't they?
No, they won.
Oh, did they win?
Yep, Steelers won.
When we were, I couldn't. They were
game.
They were flashing the scores of other teams on the main board as the game went on. So
it was it was one of those games like whoever has the ball last is going to win this game. It was a great
that's
game.
awesome. Because when one of the times that I saw the score, they were losing. I thought that was the last time I saw it. I thought they finished the game losing. But anyways, I mean, it was still fun. It was fun to watch. Again, the Browns did what they do best. It was funny going into the game with all the Browns fans, walking in with the sea of Browns fans, because I'm not a Browns fan. I'm also not a Bengals fan. Walking in with all of them, they're all chanting, all excited about going into the Browns game. And then I think there was 2 minutes left, and basically every Browns fan left the stadium already. And the ones that were left all walked out all sad and
I haven't been to a game up there a long time, but I went to a Browns Steelers game, and the Steelers were up like 30 points at half or something like that. And the whole second half of the game was just Steelers fans. And the Browns fans are some of the worst fans, I swear.
But in their defense, they haven't had a good team ever.
Yeah, but they lost that defense when they continue to be Browns fans.
True. Yeah, I won't argue that.
Game, and then you continue to bail on your team as soon as they're losing.
I will say
that's so Ohio.
I will say they're loyal from a perspective of even if they bail during the game, they will come back the next.
Yeah, they'll come back.
They'll come back the next week. They're just like they lost, and there's no reason to stay and continue to watch them get creamed. But it was good. It was still fun. It was fun to watch. It was neat to be down there for a home opener. The downtown Cleveland, it's certainly full of a lot of energy on the Browns home opener. So that was pretty cool.
I can't wait for opening night of hockey.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Monsters hockey.
Yeah. So it was super fun. That was cool. We've got fall camping coming up. Our first camping trip with some friends. This one is different than normal. We're not actually using our camper, but we're camping this weekend, so that should be fun. And that kicks off one of 4 or 5 camping trips we've got in the next couple months, so that'll be good. I'm looking forward to that. My dog did get bit last week.
By Tom?
No, Tom the turkey. Update on Tom the turkey. He's gone.
Oh,
we found out Tom the turkey is an escaped pet.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yes. So Tom the turkey was an escaped pet from a neighborhood, or not a neighborhood, but an adjacent street to ours. I don't know who found out about Tom, but they got returned to the owner. So Tom the turkey is no longer around, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad I didn't get to fatten Tom up and then eat him for Thanksgiving, but that's fine.
Anyway,
but no, my dog got bit by my mom's dog. We didn't think it was a big deal until a day or two later, and we found the hole in her side. So it was bad enough that I need to bring her to the vet. The vet couldn't sew it up. So she's got the cone of shame. So she's bumping at everything. She's on a couple antibiotics and anti-inflammatory, and we're trying to spray it and put wound ointment on it every day, which is a pain in the butt because she hates it, of course. Doesn't want you to touch a open wound, so that's a pain in the butt. But other than that, that's basically it. It'll work.
So I was in Orlando. Well, I'll start by saying I missed my first flight. So I was supposed to leave Monday night. So, before that, we went, me and my family went to Pennsylvania for the weekend, kind of a camping thing at our cabin. And we didn't necessarily leave early because I needed to catch a flight. I wasn't flying out till almost 9 p.m., but we got going in the morning, whatever, because there were some other things we needed to do. But it was still on the mind of things I needed to prep for. So kind of spend the day prepping, did some laundry, packed. Had my wife drop me off, which I usually park up there, but I'm like, I'm leaving on a Monday night, coming back on a Saturday. My wife will be around. She can drop me off, hit me up.
It's also a long time to pay for parking too.
Yes. Yeah. So she drops me off and, freeze again?
No, we're good.
Okay. So we, drops me off. I whiz through, security, no problem. Get to my gate. So when I checked in the day before, I always save the ticket to my wallet on my phone. Mm-hmm. And so I did that. I'm looking at the ticket on my phone and gate, I don't know, A14 or whatever. And I'm sitting there and I was like, yeah, it's like we're boarding a little later than what it said, but maybe we'll make up for it in the air. I was surprised they didn't say delayed, but
Sure.
I'm sure they can make up for it. So I didn't really think much of it. So one of the things that drives me nuts is when, as soon as they call zone 1, the entire airport stands up.
That is my pet peeve. I hate it.
It drives me nuts. I'm like, you guys, you have a seat. Just, yeah. So I don't mind being the last person on. So I was like the last person on. I have no rush to get on this plane. And so it comes to me and I scan my pass and it flashes red and the guy's like, speak to him. Oh, his coworker right over next to him. So I go over there and he asked me my name, checks my, and he's like, are you flying to Phoenix? I'm like, no, I'm flying to Orlando. He's like, this plane is to Phoenix. I'm like, no, it's not. My boarding pass is A14 at, whatever time it was about what time it was. I'm like, I showed it to him. He was like, that flight was moved to A10 or whatever. So the dummy in me did not like look at the sign
Sure.
there because everything else lined up.
Yeah.
Right.
Why wouldn't it have
it just-
changed?
and excuse me, hold on.
That's the problem, to saving it to your wallet too early if it changes.
Well, apparently 24 hours, obviously, things can change in minutes, let alone in 24 hours, but
Sure.
I just saved it when I checked in 24 hours before.
Yeah.
So, I hustle over to the gate that apparently I was supposed to be at. And they're like, yeah, that flight left. And which they left 10 minutes early. If they would have, so two things. They left 10 minutes early, and I got down there probably about when it would have been
Supposed to have taken off.
Supposed to be kind of
Finishing up boarding or whatever.
Yeah, finish up boarding. And then the other thing is, I never heard them call my name. I was only a couple gates away.
Yeah.
The airport at 9 p.m. in Cleveland is empty.
Not busy. Yeah.
So I would have heard. So one, I don't think they called me, and two, they left 10 minutes early. I would have made my flight. And really the most annoying part was I had a couple of annoying points. I had to rebuy another flight out the next morning, and I had to call my wife. Hey, I need you to drive 45 minutes back to come pick me up.
Sure,
Just
she'd
we
love
can
that.
do this again.
So we can do it
in the morning.
In the morning, which I ended up parking there because she wasn't going to be able to drop me off. So anyway, there was that. And then so I was there for called Experience Conference. It's like a worship leader conference, and there's speakers and there's like breakout sessions where you can learn a bunch of different things and stuff. And so that was me. I'm not going to go super deep in that, but it was amazing. The group I got to go with, I love them dearly. So it was great to spend a week kind of away with them. And then the last day, conference ended like 11:30. We don't fly out till the next morning. So we went to Magic Kingdom, which I hadn't been there since I was like little. And honestly, it was a blast. It was their it was their not so scary Halloween
Nice.
thing. So they give you a bag, and then they have like candy stops all throughout the place. And they don't just throw a piece of candy. No, they have like an ice shovel, barrels of candy, and they use a shovel, and they shovel candy in your
As they
bag.
should.
It is the most magical place on earth.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want that? So we did that. Got some good food. Rode some fun rides. I worked out pretty hard that morning, and like legs and stuff. I did a lot of jumping, and then walking around that park from like 3 to midnight. I'm still sore from that, but yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. I'm still trying to kind of get my head back. It's Wednesday now. We're halfway through the week, and I'm still trying to get my head back into the game. My head's still in Disney and at the conference and stuff, but it was good. I do want to share next week. I believe it's next week. We're going to have Rick from Achilles Heel Tactical on.
Oh, nice.
To talk about ORD.
Sweet.
So ORD is coming up the last weekend. I think tickets are. I'm not sure if they're sold out or not. But if you want to come to one of the coolest kind of shooting training events that there is in the year in the country, I believe that it is all those things. So, and you can come and hang out with us. There's a whole vendor day. There's food trucks. There's training. There's all sorts of things. At this point, they might be sold out, but regardless, it might be good. I thought it'd be cool to have him on, just kind of talk about the event. I was at the very first one, even before it was really called the Ohio Range Day.
Mhm.
And so we've kind of been one of the grandfather companies in through that. And so we'll kind of talk about that next week. So just kind of look forward to a little bit of a different episode next week. We're probably not necessarily, we're not going to go through our 4 or 5 segments and that sort of thing. So,
Is he going to come in person, or are we going to have him streamed in like
in
Ted?
person?
Oh, cool. That'll
nice.
be fun. That'll
Yep.
be good.
So our first time having a
A
live
guest.
guest.
Ooh.
Very good.
That'll be fun.
Ty
And you
Boomer
know
says he's
who
bringing
else?
his daughter to Disney in 2 weeks,
Awesome.
by the way. So
Maybe it'll be less than 100 degrees and 100% humidity.
for Ty, for your sake, I hope it's true.
Yeah, for you, I hope it is.
I hope it's
It was not for I.
wonderful. I hope your daughter enjoys it. I hope she's a princess-loving little girl just like my daughter, and she has a blast.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tib, you were saying something?
You know who else is going to Ohio Range Day?
Who else, Tib?
Tiberius.
What?
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 Say what?
No way.
Yeah, so
In 2 weeks, will I be there live with you guys?
you
for
will.
this?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
You sure
We're going to
will.
have Tib live on the podcast.
Woohoo!
As long as you don't miss your flight.
Yeah, don't miss your flight, dude.
Yeah. Make sure you check the gate that you're at.
If you're like
I'm on
me,
it.
you save your boarding pass to your phone, and then you check your email every 3 seconds, and you
I
check
just
the
check
app.
the app,
This is-
yeah.
I'm not
So-
saying that you should do this.
Yeah.
This is Nate and his absolute anal
Oh,
panic.
Travel anxiety.
Yeah,
the next morning,
I don't.
I specifically asked for a printed out boarding pass, which I haven't done in a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
And I'm
there
like,
you
I
go.
want the printed one. And then when I got to the gate, I held it up next to the sign
Yes.
at the gate, took
That's
a
how it
picture
should
of
be
it,
done.
sent it to everybody. Like, does this match? I want to make sure I'm reading this correctly.
Am I stupid?
Good job.
Is this number and
Use
this
your
number
head.
the same?
Yeah, no, I get so much. I don't know that. Yeah, Tib, you call it travel anxiety. I don't know if that's what it is, but for some reason, when it comes to flying, I'm like, I will make sure that I'm at the right spot, and I'm 3 hours early if I have my.
I clearly have too
Plan.
little
Oh,
travel
yeah.
anxiety, because also when I travel by myself, I know I'm not checking a gun or anything like that. I'll show up to the airport 30 minutes before it starts boarding, because I know there's going to be another at least 30 minutes of boarding. I'm like, I'm there an hour early. And normally how it works is as soon as I get through security, I just walk right onto the plane. It is the best thing ever.
Yeah,
So-
you and I
Yeah, I couldn't
don't
that.
do this the
No,
same
I couldn't
way.
do that at all.
which is when we're traveling together, I'm just like, all right, he's paying for it. I'm just gonna go the way he wants to go.
I'm trying to spend as little time in an airport
I
and on
know.
a plane as possible.
With you guys, it's great when we travel because you're just like, come on. And I just put my headphones on, got my Red Bull, and I just follow you guys.
Yep.
When I travel by myself, I do what every person should do. I don't take the printed ticket now and compare it, but I go to my plane. Like that is my plane. And then
My plane.
I don't wander for the bathroom or maybe to get a snack, but I sit and I stay. Like just I'm
Yeah.
not missing the flight.
I
Too many bad experiences.
I'll usually go to the gate and make sure, okay, there it is. And then I'll go walk. Like,
Yeah, me too. That's what I do.
I'll go walk until, because I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna have to sit on this plane for hours or whatever. I don't want to sit
Yep.
here in the super uncomfortable seat
Yeah.
waiting for the super uncomfortable plane. I hate flying. And the only reason I do is because it's so much faster than driving, especially to Florida. I got there in 2.5 hours instead of
We just need
Oh,
a
sure.
meal bag.
12.
There's not an argument
There's
there,
a-
but I just have so much anxiety about missing
But-
the thing
but-
that I
yes.
paid $400
Yes.
to get onto. And
But when
get-
I fly with you guys, I get there so much earlier than what I normally would when I fly by myself. I love flying by myself because I'll just,
me and your dad had a long conversation after he told me you missed your flight.
yeah.
I was like, I said, your son and I don't fly the same way. And he's like, oh yeah. Yeah. You and I, meaning me and your dad, fly very similar. It's like, yeah, we both arrive like a couple hours before the
Oh.
flight, make sure we're good. I've never missed a flight and I don't have any anxiety when I do it.
I never had either until I've been flying for a long time and
That's fun.
and fairly frequently. And this is the first time I've ever, and truly it's just because
Yeah,
I didn't,
No, it's all
I
good.
didn't
dude.
check one number. It wasn't because I got there 30 minutes before the plane
Yeah.
left.
No, it's all good.
Because-
It's the worst when they do that last minute though, and you have headphones in, and you're sitting there like, "Oh, that's still my
Yeah.
plane." Like I'm getting on it.
So
And
I
they're
have
like, "Oh,
actually
it's
had
switched."
that happen before. They're like, it's 15 minutes before the plane boards, and like it's going to be over here now.
and you're like hauling.
Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Oh.
Over Liberty segment.
Liberty isn't about what we can get away with. It's about how we use our freedom to serve. Let's explore what that looks like today.
Let's look at it.
Look at it. Oh, by the way, hey, Dan says you need to text him back, Mike.
I'm on the podcast. I got the text.
I'm just telling you.
I saw it. Okay.
Just letting you
Yeah, I
know.
was just I haven't looked at the comments in a minute. So wait, I kind of expect you guys to. I probably shouldn't expect that.
I just did.
Probably will be, but yes,
I am.
Here
I am.
All right, Dana. I see your text. As you...
Dan, can't you tell we're busy?
Do you want? Yes, Dan. Both.
Anyways,
All right, I'm glad you guys were able to handle that. So tomorrow is the anniversary of 9/11, and Michael, I think, was actually the one that was like, "Hey, we should kind of talk about this."
Mhm.
And I do think it's important for us to talk about it. We're all old enough that we remember it clearly, and
for sure.
and there's probably people listen potentially that weren't, and so which is kind of crazy to think about, because it seems like it was yesterday, to a lot of us. So I thought we just
not
kind of
24 years ago.
yeah, not 24 years ago. The people that were not, or were born then, are adults and starting families and stuff, which is wild. So I guess if we want to spend a little time, maybe just kind of quickly, like what's your story, where you're at, and maybe some of your first thoughts, somewhat quickly. Maybe you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. I was working at Circuit City when it happened. For you young people, that's like
What's that?
Best Buy before there was a Best Buy. It was called Circuit City, and
Like
service was
Blockbuster?
state of the art. And I remember vividly, someone came in and said a plane hit a building, and I'm like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. And then as the day went on, I was like everyone, like, oh my goodness. I actually had my daughter interviewed me 2 days ago for school. She had to interview one of her parents about 9/11, and she asked me like a dozen different questions, all regarding 9/11 and how I felt and how it happened and what I remember most vividly. And that was cool. And it was very emotional. Like she's doing the interview, and I was like holding back tears. And then the other thing I do every year on 9/11 is I go to the gym, I toss on my plate carrier, and on the stair stepper there, whatever it's called, I do as many flights on the stair stepper that the firefighters had to climb up the tower. It's 100 and something. I have to look it up. I don't remember how many, but I do that every year as just a small way to remember, everyone who passed in that day.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
How are you, Michael?
9/11 hit home. Actually hit home for us. So my dad's been a part of the fire department his entire career and was a part of Tennessee Task Force 1 and FEMA. So prior to 9/11, you had the Oklahoma City bombing. I was very young, like vaguely remembered that one as a kid, but Dad responded to that. Dad went to Katrina. He went to all these events throughout the year or throughout the decades of his service. 9/11 was one of those. My dad was a single parent at the time. My parents were divorced. And when my dad worked at the fire department, he worked a 24-hour shift. So I would stay with my grandma. When my dad got off, he would pick me up, take me to school, and then I got to ride the bus home. Well, I got a call over the intercom system to come to the principal's office in middle school, right? And that's one of those, like, when you hear that, you're like, oh, like,
Oh,
What did I do?
I'm in
Oh,
trouble, right? Like, you don't get your name called. Like, if somebody needs you, they'll come get you. But to get your name called, I was like, oh, crap. What mischievous deal did I get myself into?
I don't remember what I'm getting in
Right? So
trouble
I'm
for.
like, so like the walk of shame at this time was across campus from inside a building, outside, back to inside. And when I walked in, the demeanor of everybody was just awestruck.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was just quiet, but I didn't understand at the time. So I got pulled into the principal's office, and they're like, you have a phone call. So I pick it up, and the best way I could describe my dad is my dad always did his job, and he always did it with a full heart, ready to go help people. That's just who my father is still to this day. And he's like, hey, Bubba, I've got to go. There was a terrorist attack. A plane crashed into a building. Daddy's got to go. That was it. that was cut short and sweet. I didn't know what was going on, nothing like that. So Dad had to go. I didn't get to say goodbye or anything like that. He was they were getting ready to go to the airport. They grounded all flights, and then the Pentagon was struck. So Dad was going to the World Trade Center. The Pentagon was struck and ended up going to the Pentagon. So he was there for, I might get in trouble for this, 15 to 18 days. I don't remember the exact amount, but roughly 2 weeks plus. And I stayed with now my stepmom, but she picked me up from school. I was devastated. I was following in Daddy's footsteps. I mean, I did everything with my father. He is a big contribution to, my love for the outdoors and shooting and guns and everything. So that hit home for us pretty heavily. Dad went and served his country. He served and helped others. The Pentagon was more of like not so much of a rescue operation, but a search operation, and just trying to structurally make sure the building's sound, like everything was taken care of at that point. But when he came home, that was the second time in my life I'd ever seen my father cry. So that it hit home for me. But my dad was my hero. The Tennessee Task Force 1, those guys were heroes. Those were lifelong firefighters, gentlemen that had been with my father since I was born. So for 9/11, for me, it really does hit home. We have these amazing plaques and memorials and pieces of the building and things that kind of, Dad kind of like, put in his garments and sent home. He had this old Polaroid that he got to take pictures. So certain things he got to kind of bring home. Certain things were like, we have it, but we have amazing decoration for 9/11 because there's so many people that lost their lives, firefighters, first responders. So I take that day to hit it hard in the gym. Like Tib said, I love that. I don't do the stair stepper anymore. My knees can't handle it, but I will work out absolutely for 9/11. But I'm going to call my old man and just tell him thank you. Everything that he did out of the service for others. That's what he's always done in his career field. So it's an honor to even just say that, to be like, my dad was a contributing factor to help others and serve his country. He never served in the military or anything like that, but he did absolutely do it in his career field. So that's the one for me that I'll definitely enjoy the day and remember those that put themselves out there for others.
Yeah, for sure. Love you, Nick.
Well, I was homeschooled all the way through, so I was at home when it happened. I can remember just working on whatever particular school. I don't remember what I was working on at the time, but my mom's sister was living in Albany, New York at the time, and she had called my mom. It was like, hey, a plane hit one of the World Trade Centers. And the second one hadn't hit yet. No one really knew what was going on at that point, but my mom had turned the news on. And I remember going to the living room. One building's on fire, smoking. My mom's on the phone with her sister. They're kind of chit-chatting back and forth. My mom grew up not in New York City, but in New York State. They'd been in New York City many times. And so for them, the World Trade Centers, I'm not going to say was iconic from a childhood perspective from a growing up there, but they'd spent many, many hours, days, weeks in New York City growing up. So the World Trade Centers were a big deal for them. So they were talking about it, trying to figure things out. And I can remember sitting there and watching the second plane hit the second tower while we were sitting there. And of course, my mom's in tears, which again is a 9-year-old. Like I was 9 at the time. I didn't really understand. I mean, it's tragic. It's weird. It's not okay. But It was also, I didn't understand why everyone was so upset about it, because I didn't understand the further implications of, if one hit and a second one hit, that means this is more than just an accident.
Yeah, you were 9.
Right.
We're so young. Yeah.
And my mom's upset. She's crying. I know my aunt was on the phone and crying. My mom hung up. She calls my dad. They were talking about stuff. And I can remember I'm still sitting in the living room watching the news, because now there's 2 buildings on fire. And I don't remember order of events. I'd have to look it up. I
looked up the timeline right now because I was curious, because I have certain memories, and I'm foggy on the actual timeline of it all. So I was looking that up.
But anyways, I can't remember if the Pentagon had been hit yet or not. But I can remember watching whichever of the two buildings, whichever one fell first. I can remember watching the building fall on the news, and I can remember telling my mom, she wasn't in the room. I go, "Hey mom, one of the buildings fell." And she literally goes, "That's not possible." I can just remember her saying, "You're wrong," which I remember being like, "I'm not wrong."
Yeah,
like
like
I
there it is
just
on
saw it.
TV.
Like this huge building collapsed. Like this
It was
is not-
difficult to believe. Yeah.
yeah, like this was not a small thing. And the day continued on. Obviously, more things happened. So the Pentagon hit again. I don't remember. Again, you're looking at the order of events, Greg. But Pentagon gets hit. The other thing that happened is the plane that crashed in Pennsylvania was actually
Flight 93.
Yeah, it was only 45 minutes from where my grandparents live. So that was, I mean, all of it's significant. I'm not gonna say it's not insignificant, but it actually flew over the college my grandparents work at. They saw it fly over the college. So people saw things, all of that stuff. I can remember my dad getting home angry. Now my dad's a 7-time combat vet or 7 tour combat vet, and he came home and he spent the next 2 days on the phone, not necessarily with the Pentagon, but with folks trying to get back into the Army. He was medically discharged. He knew that he couldn't get back into a combat ready unit, but he was like, if I can get back to West Point or another place, I can free up an officer to go and fight. So I can get somebody out of a training position and get them into the fight. So he spent a lot of time trying to get back into the Army. It's odd for me because I think about him being out of the Army for a long time, but in the reality, he'd only been out of the Army for about 5 years or 6 years at that point. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not that many years. No. But as a kid, that's forever.
As a kid, that's half your life.
Yeah, it's a long time.
But he had spent forever trying to get back into the Army because he knew. I remember my mom on the phone with him again. She was upset, and when she came off, he had told her, he's like, "Oh, this is an attack, Karen. Like this is not an accident. This is what it is. I know what it is, and I know what I'm doing about it." It didn't work out that way, but that was his goal, what he was going to try and do with it. So it didn't end up working out because of all of his because of his medical discharge. He couldn't get back in, but that's how things progressed for us.
Yeah. I hear Tibbs' dog snoring over there.
It's not the birds or the chickens.
Yeah, there's so many animal sounds over there.
Sorry.
So, Tib, I don't know if this makes you feel old. Everybody else that I'm reading about here and what we've heard from were like in grade school when this happened. But
yeah, I was working in my career.
I was in college. I'm only what, like 2 years younger than you or so. So I was in college. I remember I was in computer lab, and somebody like announced that a plane just hit one of the twin towers. And there's some confusion and sadness, obviously. Like that's a horrible thing to happen, but we didn't
understand the gravity of it.
Yeah. I don't think anybody did. And so I think when the second plane hit, I remember one of the guys in my class saying, I think somebody's doing this on purpose. And I remember one of the girls in our class arguing with him, like, why would anybody do that?
Yeah.
And the ironic thing is she was, I don't know if I call her veteran. She was
military
of some sort.
Yeah.
And she was arguing with him. And I remember that. And then I also think shortly after the second plane hit, the school was like, you guys all need to go home. And then, so that's why I was looking at the timeline, because in my head, when I got home, I saw the second plane hit, but there's only like 15 minutes.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't long.
It wasn't long. And I'm a good 30 to 40 minutes from my home to school. So there's no way. So I think I got home in time to see the first tower fall. So the first plane hit at 8:46. The next plane hits at 9:03. And then 9:37, Flight 77 hits the Pentagon. And then 9:59, the South Tower falls. Meanwhile, at the same time, passengers on Flight 93 are fighting in the cockpit and stuff. and then 10:02 Flight 93 crashes, and then 10:28 the North Tower falls. And so I honestly don't remember a lot, after that day. I do remember having some fears of like, I think we all knew like this means war, right? Like, we're not going to sit back and do nothing. And I do remember shock and awe,
Angry.
and yeah, I remember being angry and fearful if I was going to get called to go
Drafted or something.
Yeah, if I was going to get drafted, like, there's just a lot, because I was right in that age, kind of sweet spot. So, yeah, and then, obviously there was this, the aftermath of everything that happened afterwards is, there's a lot there. So just to share a couple of the other stories, or Nate, do you want to share some of the comments?
Yeah. So we've got Nerds with Guns. He said that he was 5 at the time, and he can remember watching it on his grandma's TV, not understanding what was happening, but it was one of his first memories. One of our viewers, Margie Thornhill.
That's actually my cousin's wife.
Oh,
hi Margie.
Was mowing the grass at the Kent State football stadium at the time when it happened. Dan from North Coast Tactical was in 6th grade in English class. They sent them home early. His dad was the groundskeeper and was working at the baseball field at the time and had no idea what had happened until Dan had told him. And he had took it very hard. He's a Vietnam airborne Army vet. They had canceled their baseball game that day, and that's what he can remember from that day. Patriotic Penguin was a sophomore sitting in Principles of Democracy class, which seems fitting at the time. Watched it and didn't understand what was going on, then remembered the recruiting spree after that and a lot of his older friends enlisting.
Yeah.
It is the patriotic response to 9/11. I don't think anyone can quite, if you were not old enough to remember, not to say that it's not significant, but like Nerds with Guns is a little bit young to remember, but if you weren't there at the time, the patriotic response to 9/11, the centralized feeling of everyone and how everyone was approaching this at the time was nuts.
Yeah.
Like there was no political division. There was no political posturing. There was one perspective.
Everybody was unified.
Yeah. There was one goal.
Yeah. I do remember that. I remember the unity. That's probably the only time that I can think of in my lifetime when I've felt that kind of
American flags everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. Hello. Greg just texted me during the talk.
I was gonna meet you while you're kicking your dog. His dog is snoring. If you're watching, like we're talking on the serious thing, and I'm back here like laughing because I can hear his dog snoring so loud.
Anyways,
but
yeah, the unified nature coming out of that. Not to say that anyone should wish of that kind of tragedy happening, but it was unreal.
Yeah, I mean, churches are being packed full of people.
He's back on if you want to.
There you go. I ended up not meeting him.
He is muted. He muted himself. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You're
Sorry.
Good. Churches were packed with people, just trying to understand and get support, and that was wild. And then it didn't take long for it to turn political and be divisive. But I feel like even in the midst of that, I feel like there was a sense of like, okay, it is political now. Do we go to war? Do we not go to war? Should we be doing this? Should we be doing that? There was still like a sense of, but I think we need to do something.
Yeah.
So even if it wasn't necessarily what you agreed with them doing, you're like, I get it. So I think even people that didn't agree were willing to
do something.
Yeah. And willing to see the other side.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've been participating in Memorial Days basically my entire life, town Memorial Days. And I can remember as a kid, so my dad has marched in the Wadsworth, Ohio Memorial Day Parade. So we moved here in 97. So since 1998 until now, he's not missed a single Memorial Day parade. Whatever that math ends up being, 27 of them ish.
Math is hard.
Yeah. And I can remember before 9/11, like the attendance dwindling, those 3 or 4 years beforehand. And I can remember 2002, the square being packed and the cemetery afterwards being packed. And 2003, the square being packed and the cemetery afterwards being packed. The spirit hadn't left. People were like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be a part of this. I'm going to remember these people. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to be patriotic. And this is something to remember and be a part of and support. And I'm going to support the troops that are overseas. And that was all a thing. And it was being driven by that event, that singular event. Changed a lot of things, obviously, for a lot of reasons, changed a lot of things, but I can remember that in particular being a huge change for 4 or 5 years, the patriotic spirit behind that event.
Yeah.
And the reaction.
The saying is live like an American from September 12th, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going to say, Michael?
Yeah, I was just going to say it's unfortunate that there takes such a tragedy like that for the unification of the people, at least for a short period of time, or maybe a couple of years, to come together as a whole. But that was, like Tib just said, September 12th. It didn't matter what color, what ethnicity, what religion, nothing. You were American, and we all stood together. And it's sad to see that go away because we are actually the last generation that was alive for 9/11. So everything else past us is now just in a history book. So as we take it with such heavy hearts and remembrance and understanding of the major impact, that's the biggest terrorist attack on American soil. 1, the wars that led for decades thereafter. 2, and the complete change which we're leading to in infrastructure post 9/11. There's a lot of positive and a lot of negative that came from that. But the one takeaway is I wish we as a country could come back to was that I hate to say it like this because it can be perceived in such a wrong context, but September 12th.
Yep.
Right. That's where I wish we as a country, especially right now and what we see what's going on politically, to just come back to that.
Well, Dan says you couldn't go anywhere without seeing American flags.
Yeah, you couldn't. You couldn't. Patriotism and love for one another was there.
Yep.
The sporting events, I remember the national anthem at the sporting events, and every sport was like a spectacle. Yeah. It was great. It was beautiful. Yeah.
They'd pan the crowd and everybody had tears in their eyes and
they were silent or singing. Yeah. Like it's one or the other. There was no
patriotism wasn't
messing around. Yeah. There is some cool things. There's a couple comments talking about the museum in New York. If you haven't gotten a chance to go see it.
And Flight 93.
And the Flight 93 in Pennsylvania.
Dad,
I haven't seen it since it's actually been a thing. I saw it when it was, like I say, like right after. It wasn't right after, but a few years after the fact, before they'd actually gotten to build anything. And it was just kind of a field that had a marker saying that that's where it was. From what I've heard, it's actually pretty.
Yeah, my dad was there, I think last year. He said it was pretty good.
Can I say cool? That's not
right. Well, that's like
how do you say that? It's
I can't bring myself to. I think it's one of those things like if I'm in the area, but I have a hard time. I'm just me. I have a hard time going back and reliving that. Like I just don't. I just don't feel like I need to go back and.
So I shouldn't say got to. I was in New York City. I don't remember the timeline. Sometime reasonably shortly after 9/11, because I got to watch them cleaning up the site.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the city afterwards. We were visiting my mom's family in Albany, my mom's sister in Albany, and they took us to New York City as a part of that trip. Not because of 9/11, just to go to New York City because we're nearby. It's only a couple hour drive. And I remember watching, they had all of the collapsed buildings and all of that rubble just boxed off and dump trucks going in and out of these it's not like a hazmat closing point, but kind of a hazmat point closing point where they would drive in and get sprayed down and then drive out so that they're not bringing all the asbestos dust and everything out into the city and all of that stuff. And now for it to just be a big open hole, it's crazy. And then to have a museum and everything there. I don't know. If you're there, I would say go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely worth going to see if you've never seen it.
Yeah, I agree. And Nerds with Guns says he remembers seeing some recruiters at my school after the event. He said all of his uncles signed up. That's amazing. Yeah. That's pretty amazing to hear.
Yeah, like Nate, I actually went to 9/11 on the 1-year anniversary. And the two things I remember is obviously the city is incredibly loud, but you got to that block and it was significantly quieter. Like you could still hear all the trucks, like Nate said, but I observed as people were walking by there, their voices lowered, they got quiet. It was significantly quieter. And I really remember, I don't know if you guys ever saw it, that was the cross. Like when all the buildings and the rubble fell, there was a cross still standing. And I really remember focusing in on that cross, and it stood out, and it was, surreal.
Yeah. So one of the more recent things that I've seen in the news, I just saw this the other day. I don't know if you guys saw this. The firefighters bring presents to a daughter's wedding. Did you guys see this in the news? So Kristen Marino is a daughter of FDNY firefighter Kenneth Marino, who perished on 9/11. And she received a unforgettable tribute on her wedding day. 9 fellow firefighters, current and former, stood at her father's place. I can get teared up. Sorry, read this. Honoring his memory in deep solidarity. The presence, complete with fire trucks, served as a living testament to courage, legacy, and the bonds that link us beyond tragedy. I thought that was pretty amazing. That almost 25 years later, they remember her. They remember her dad. And they show up in his place. I've seen this news story before, even as I was prepping this, and it still brings a tear in my eye. Just thinking about that. I think it just goes back to show the just the solidarity isn't gone. There are still pockets of people that will not forget and that are willing to still stand in the place of those who fell. I'll put a link here. You guys can Google it. I'll put a link in the show notes to the New York Post article about it. It's pretty beautiful to see, and I can only imagine what that meant to her. So, I thought it'd be good to just kind of spend a little time hearing stories, and talking about it, because I think it's important that it doesn't get forgotten. And just I go back. I remember, hearing from my grandpa, or both my grandpas who were in World War II, and just being able to talk and hear stories about them, and talking to my dad what it was like being alive when Kennedy was shot. Just all these things that happen and shape the country. I think it's important that those of us who were around when that happened, we weren't there. We weren't anything significant into this and into what happened there or thereafter necessarily. But it's cool to hear about those who were, just hear about some of the people commenting who had family go and fight, and Michael's dad who went and helped clean up, and there is very real tangible things still here for us. And
it will always blow my mind to hire people, because we've had a couple people work for us full time, even at this point, as adults, grown adults, that were not alive for 9/11. We've had multiple now. Work for us. That
we're old.
Yeah. Well, it's not even. Well, that's true too. But it's not even about being old. It's just it's that there are now plenty of kids. That's not fair. There's plenty of adults that are out in the workforce and everything, and for them, this is truly just history. It's just something that
a lot of my kids, it's in their history books and stuff.
Yeah,
so
it's in the
to
books.
them, it is in the same book as World War I.
Yeah.
Or, like a Civil War, like they're learning, in the same class, they're learning about Civil War and 9/11. So to them, it's hard to space the time between all these things that happen,
Right.
Or
It's
to
just
have the
crazy.
emotion behind it too. Like, because when I read about World War One and Two, it was fascinating,
But there's no emotion for
but
you.
there was zero emotion to it. Where 9/11 in the the slogan, as we put quotes around the slogan, but we will never forget, right? That was the best one to have if you have to have a slogan for any tragedy, right? Because we personally won't forget because of the gravity and the weight that it's carried through our lifetime and probably through the next generation beyond us, because what came after 9/11 still hasn't deteriorated.
Correct.
It's just continued.
And this, we were going to talk about this. I don't think I'm going to now, just because of time. And just, I think it's great the way the conversation has gone. But we're going to talk about just some of the changes that have come afterwards. TSA. Just honestly, I think about it every time I fly. We're going to go back to the flight thing. I hate flying. Every time I fly, I think it wasn't like this.
Yeah.
Not that long ago, and of security checkpoints, and there's so many things that with our own securities, with our country's securities, with rights that have changed and powers that have been given to government. Like there's a whole other side of this that we
Go
could
down a rabbit hole.
We go. There's all kinds of rabbit holes we could go down to, but truly, I don't think. Well, I'm not gonna say that that stuff doesn't matter, because it does. But just stop and remember. Just stop and tell stories, and hopefully somebody will listen to this or is watching this who wasn't there and can hear some stories from some people.
Yep.
Firsthand. Cool. All right, let's move on to equipped.
The right tools, the right skills at the right time. This is where we get equipped to live boldly and be ready for what comes next.
Home Depot.
Shoptheneomag.com.
After the last episode, I found the actual audio on YouTube of the Home Depot, and it's close enough that I could after you hear them both, you're like, it's not that close, but it's close enough that you're like, it's pretty darn close. Our Home Depot segment brought to you by
Meatballs.
Meatballs.
Oh, the meatloaf.
Nate was chowing on meatballs right before we started,
So good.
Today's discount code for our insiders. Who wants to say it?
Aim true.
Aim true. AIMTRUE will get you 15% off. All you got to do is log into your insider's account. If you're not an insider, when you go to theneomag.com, there'll either be a pop-up or down on the very bottom of the website, another little kind of pop-up thing will pop up. Or you can just go up to the search bar and search insiders, and you can sign up for it. It is free. When you sign up, you also get another discount code, so you're actually going to get two. And this one, we do this every week. You get a new code, and you can use that. This one will expire tomorrow at midnight, so you have about a day and a half to go and use that code. They also want to announce just quickly, we are going to have a BOGO. Buy one, get one on the Alias magnetic receiver.
Woohoo! Whoop, whoop.
So
Go buy one.
It's a pretty handy little thing.
Or two.
Or three.
Well, you'll get two.
Buy one, you'll get one. You'll get two. Or you buy two, you get four.
There you go.
Eventually,
What a deal.
I won't be able to do the math anymore. But, but yeah, buy one, get one. They're super handy. We use them at the range for medical. We'll magnet a med bag to the outside of the truck or something like that. And I got a couple other ideas for some things I need to make for it that will also make it even more handy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to have that. This code will not be able to work on that. However, if you sign up for the insiders now or before that, then you'll be able to use the code that you get for that. I think
You should. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to.
now, sometimes we don't.
We'll see.
Sometimes we.
I don't know.
I might take that back. Sometimes it's set up so that you can't use.
Logos are coming.
You can't use codes on sale items, stuff like that. So
We'll see what magic happens.
we'll see what happens. But
This Friday.
Boom.
starting Friday, we'll have that.
Exciting stuff.
But I thought today for equipped, we could just kind of talk about dry fire routines.
Dry fire. Tim, what do you do for dry fire?
I'll go last.
Dry fire is illegal in Rhode Island.
Yes.
Pretty sure.
I think Tiberius is illegal.
Guns are illegal.
I'm 100% illegal.
Everything's illegal there. Yeah, it's been painfully clear, especially as Nate and I finally got back on the range a couple weeks ago. We were on the range like a couple days apart, and even before that, it's been real sporadic the last part of the summer because we've been busy or it's been way too hot to go to the range. And when we finally go to the range, at least us two, because Michael shoots way more than we do, we're like, I'll go to draw the first time doing our we have a
Cold start drill.
Yeah, we have our own cold start drill using the Neomag box, and we do it every time we go to the range. It's the first thing we do. And I go to draw out, and I'm like, my dot is in a different zip code right now. I don't even know if it's on. I couldn't tell you.
It's not there.
It's just my gun might as well be pointing straight up in the sky or straight down the ground. It was so clear that I need to dry fire more. And I wish I could say that since then I've learned my lesson and I've spent an hour a day dry firing. That's not the case. I have dry fired more. I would say once a week. Once a week, I probably dry fired for like 5 minutes, which is still not enough, but it's way more than what.
Okay, I retract my good statement. So that's you got to do more than 5 minutes.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm not admitting to doing a good job at this, but like, do you guys dry fire? And if so, how much? And if you're with us live, let us know. Do you dry fire?
Mike with tactical consideration said, just send it and look for the report.
That's something Mike would say.
Yeah, that's totally what Mike would say.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah. So what are y'all's routines? What do you guys do for dry fire routine?
I don't have a routine, but meaning like a specific thing. I know you have something you're working on, Mike, but for me, one of the things before, if I am going out and intentionally carrying, meaning I'm putting the gun in, I'm going out for the evening, going out shopping, whatever, I get some reps in just to make sure, okay, consistent, draw comes up, dot comes into the window, good there, break the trigger, all of that. I do that a few times. And then honestly, I'm not gonna say most evenings, a couple nights a week, I'll be down in the basement just playing around. Again, it's usually just dry fire, find a point on a wall, consistency of bringing gun up. And it's basically just consistency on the draw, making sure that I'm consistently grabbing the pistol, bringing it up, making sure the dot's in the right spot every single time. That's most of the work that I do. I'm not doing a lot of target transitioning and single hand only and all of that kind of stuff. Not to say that it's not a value. That's not what I'm saying. That's just not what I do.
Right.
Most of it's just, let's make sure I can actually do the fundamentals of the draw and engaging my trigger, breaking the trigger, and making sure that my dot is appropriately on the target when I do all of that.
Something I've been doing lately when I carry, I'll just do like 1 or 2 draws. And usually it's like half speed. It is slow. But what I want to do, I want to, every shirt draws differently,
Yeah.
right? What you're wearing is going to affect how the gun draws. And I don't wear every single outfit that I have to the range. I'll be honest. I usually pick the most fast draw friendly clothes that I have to the range because I know I'm going to go burn it down. I want to.
He's got to burn it down.
I don't want to struggle with that one shirt that will not clear, but I still will wear that shirt out. So I will usually. Yeah, no, that's not why. So I will usually draw sometimes once, maybe twice. If the first one was not good, then I'll draw a second time. If the first one was good, I'm like, we're good. And a lot of times I'll peek and do a little press check, make sure the dot's good. I try to do some of those kind of last minute checks before I leave the house with the gun on me. Make sure it's loaded, make sure the dot's good, make sure that I can draw with the shirt that I have on. And there have been a couple times where I have gone to draw and the first time was bad. The second time was also bad. I've changed shirts.
Yeah. There you go.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just proper firearm handling for responsible gun owners, right? Because we're talking about dry fire, and maybe we can say that's a dry fire rep, but just listening to, and I know Tib does this too, because I've seen him do it personally. But when we go to carry, we carry responsibly enough that we make sure the gun's where it needs to be. The holster's locked in on our receiver. We get a good draw or a bad draw, but we see, where am I at? We check ourselves, right? Press checks, top it off, make sure everything's where it needs to be on the worst case premise that we need to use that. I think that's just responsible gun ownership for somebody that's exercising their right to carry. But if that's a dry fire, absolutely people that carry should get those couple dry fire reps in before. To Nate's point, what I'm working on right now is specifically for the competitive side of the house. I zeroed out that stage, right? And I'm like, never again, right? This was my moment to shine. I had a good day until I didn't. And then just finish it out. I had an amazing squad. The guys, Monsoon, all those guys are an amazing team to shoot with. They make the sport a lot more fun. But what I'm working on right now is really driven on the competitive side of the house with the speed holster, getting the gun from 0 mag in to single hand to non-dominant hand transitions, a lot of things that I can apply into the competitive aspect of it to break it down for people that want to just get started in dry fire, put up a target, put a piece of tape on a wall, find a point that's your reference point if you're running iron sights or an optic, and just get some reps. If you're concealed carry, that for my personal opinion, but that should be your primary repetition, right? I conceal carry, but I also compete. So I get both. Now I can say my conceal carry dry fire practice is minimal compared to what I'm doing outside the waistband. And I can tell a difference when I go to draw, because I have those days that you're like, I can't clear the garment to save my life. Or you know what? The shirt's coming with me, or I'm just shooting through the shirt because I'm old school style with it. But
so I'm waiting for all the hardcore muscle memory guys to come and say, if all you practice outside, then when the bad guy comes in, you're going to draw from your hip.
I'm going to go for the hip when I've got it on my waistband. You know, the way we carry changes so much, but again, as responsible gun owners and as guys that exercise our uses of carrying, when we carry something differently, I bet every single one of us is probably getting a couple reps in. Even if it's off the body bag, we're probably going to be like, let me make sure the straps adjusted just right. So right now my dry fire is heavy, a lot more than what it should have been or what it was. But what it should be is I'm probably getting 30 minutes to an hour every night. It's my hands are raw. I've got some points that I need to work on, but I had a goal in mind, and
he's motivated.
I got baby soft hands.
After you zero stage against the best competitors out there, you're like, never again. You know, for me, it's just like, okay, now we need to refine, refocus, and shoot, and get some practice in when we can't.
Well, I've heard interviews with some of the top grandmaster shooters, and they'll all tell you that they dry fire, I don't know, 100 to 1 for every live round, live fire round that they take. Because really, that shot going off, managing the recoil, and pulling trigger again. Yes, that's important stuff, and you have to practice that stuff. But there's so many things that need to happen before that and after that.
There's a lot
that you don't have to be at the range to do.
No,
you diagnose your grip on the draw all the time, and you see your pressure when you're like you said, where's my dot? It's in another zip code, and it happens. That's where I can't tell you how many times you get a good mag reload, and then you get one that you're like, the mag was supposed to go in the mag well, not in the corner of the basement.
Right.
I need to go retrieve that. Right.
Yeah.
And you do see the good. Sometimes you see some bad. We post on, the socials, but the training's there. You need to definitely understand there's going to be good and bad moments of it.
Mike with tactical considerations said he does a rule of 10 with progressing speed. So 10 draws, 10 transitions, and 10 reloads, repeat 3 times. And if you have space when reloading, move when reloading and transitions for hits.
Love that.
And that man can shoot.
No question there. It's just a very consistent, though. It's like a very consistent thing. Easy to remember. 10, 10, 10, 3 times, move. If you can do something that's consistent and memorable, that's not right. Memorable?
I like the word though.
Rememberable. That is something that is easy to do. Then you can just go and do that thing. It'll help you out a lot.
So I thought maybe we could come up with like 3 drills, 3 things that we should do for dry fire. And in my mind is going more for concealed carry. Like what are 3 things that we should be dry firing every day that'll prepare us the best for concealed carry? And That's what we're going to come up with, right? Or, that might come to. So, I mean, my first most obvious one is just like regular, just clearing your garment.
Yeah, just the purchase.
Just the purchase and the draw, and it doesn't, and maybe it's 10 times. I do think 10 is a good number. So, first one is maybe 10 draws of clearing your garment, getting your gun up, and I would say dot on if you have a dot, if not your front sight on something. Pick some. Have some target. I use light switches.
I like light switches.
I use light switches a lot. I use pictures on the wall.
You can always use a mirror. Shoot yourself in the mirror.
I've done the mirror.
I've shot myself in the mirror many times.
When we were at our hotel room, when we were down in Cincinnati, I was watching some show on Discovery, and every time like somebody would change somebody, I would draw, and I would try to shoot them before they were off the screen again. So it was just something. There's some movement. There's some. There's something I have to react to.
Should do that with Roxanne, the song.
Roxanne.
Every time it says Roxanne, you have to draw.
Or take a shot.
He gets it. He gets it.
I also think it's important to do this first thing, just because, like I said, what you're wearing that day it could drastically draw differently than what you wore the day before.
Yeah, winter's coming, so
yeah, we're going to be adding layers to those of us up north.
Gross.
Honestly, the people down south are adding layers too. It's instead of at 90, it's 70, and they're wearing coats and stuff down there. But
I think that's a good one. Just grip purchase. Just the purchase of the firearm,
Proper grip,
and purchasing the grip.
A clear grip and draw. So and I put some emphasis on getting your red dot on target.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Presentation and target acquisition.
What's something else like dry fire wise for carry that you think we should do?
Something that we probably don't take into consideration enough is we're not always standing, right? So maybe
from a seated position, just working repetition from.
You might be in your car. You may be doing it in your car,
right? In your vehicle, in a seat. Replicating. We're in an office. So we're primarily working behind a desk, right? So repetitions behind clearing not just a garment, but now clearing your desk or just from a different shooting position other than standing static.
Yeah, that's true. Like we're not always going to be standing in the perfect, foot back and hands down at your side. So it's just unconventional, quote unquote unconventional, but not really unconventional, but just normal everyday positions. So whether it's seated or again, just put your hands somewhere other. I remember going to the Modern Samurai class and he had us do arms folded, arms behind your back. Just put your arms in a different position that it makes it more difficult to bring your arms around to get your garment out of the way.
Yeah, love that.
Just simply because you're not going to constantly be standing with your hands right here or right over here.
Right.
Walk around like this all the time. Yeah.
You're not going to walk around with the T-Rex arms where it's like every single time. So
and another +1 to that you can add, even if you're seating or if you are standing and want to get some reps, put something in your hand that forces you to drop it.
Yep.
Right. Something. Don't do your phone, right? Don't break your phone or anything like that. But put something in your hand that you can drop repeatedly.
And I would say don't drop.
I would say if those who have kids or something and you can't put the kid down, you don't want to drop the kid, obviously.
Well,
so hold it and
of a child. Drop the child, shoot the person, pick up the child, catch the child as
toss
you shoot.
the child.
I don't know. I think my kid would actually depending on which one it is. If I tossed Cassidy in the air and drew and shot, she'd probably be giggling.
So throw the kid. No, we're not advocating hurting children, but put something in your hand that forces you to think, am I going to drop it, shift, or should I start having something in my left hand versus my right hand because I'm a shooter, right? We don't have a bag on our right side when we're outside the waistband on the right side of the hip, right? We shift things.
Yeah, that's one of the things we've talked about frequently with our safety team at churches. If you're walking around with a cup of coffee, have it in your left hand, and what's your plan?
Throw the coffee.
That's always been my thing. I'm throwing it in their face.
I'm going to miss the person completely with the left hand, though.
It's fine.
It's true, yeah.
I'm going to hit the old lady in the seat.
Sorry,
Patriotic,
Phyllis.
Right, exactly. Oops, my bad. Patriotic Penguin said he's frequently holding his kid in his lap, often in church, so he practices that position often. Just a practical situation. It's not a bad idea. Nerds with Guns says pocket sand is the real
Pixie dust.
little pocket sand.
So I was at the county fair yesterday, last night with my
Town
daughter.
fair.
I went down to county fair. My daughter last night we saw a concert there, but as we're walking out, it is, I'm on like red level 10.
Got your teenage daughter with a bunch of hicks.
Yeah, I got a beautiful teenage daughter, and actually her friend too, and it's super crowded. We're all filing out. There's a guy, a couple people ahead of me at first. When I saw him, he's wearing a black like sleeveless shirt, black like gym shorts with like boots on or whatever. It's fairly typical fair outfit for around here. But I also see that he's wearing the cheapest, loosest shoulder holster
I thought you were going to be judging his boots.
with cross draw.
Mm.
I didn't see what gun it was because he was kind of in front of me. The funniest part is my daughter started like, she was saying it louder than what I think she realized she was, but she started kind of like heckling the guy, like, which I love that I love my 14-year-old daughter knows that it's a horrible idea to outside the waistband carry, or
Open carry.
Open carry in a shoulder holster at a fair or whatever, because it's super busy. And that's I think he heard her, because at some point he grumbled something. I didn't catch it, and which I would have loved to just have a couple words with him. But anyway,
Let's get him a beltless.
yeah, like I can help you conceal that, buddy. But I'm on like threat level midnight. Just keep my eye on everything. And I'm also carrying my box of donuts. I just got a fresh box of a dozen
Lurch's
donuts.
Delicious.
Which were
Lurch's
good, by
donuts.
the
It
way.
was so good.
Oh, so good.
This show is sponsored by,
And I'll tell you what, I'm not dropping my Lurch's donuts. If I have to,
as you should not.
if I have to smoke
Show
shoulder
note.
holster guy.
Hold on. Show note. He literally got rid of a dog. I'm not kidding. He got rid of a dog for eating these donuts.
Yeah, I woke up the next morning to them gone.
I'm
I
not.
said, "Yeah, my dog
This
did
is
it."
actually not. You think I'm joking? That was the last straw
It was the last
that made him get rid of a dog. Was the dog ate Lurch's donuts?
There were many other straws. He ate my daughter's
Correct.
first birthday cake.
I understand.
This dog was
I was like,
but-
is Riggs becoming mine?
No.
now?
This was a
basset hound.
wonderful basset hound, but it was the straw that broke the camel's back that he got rid of a dog over this.
This is
brand
how
of
much I love
donuts.
these donuts. I'm not dropping these donuts if I have to smoke this guy. So, but I'm thinking, I'm like, I've got two girls that I am protecting, that I put myself in charge of. I've got these donuts that I'm going to. You have to pry these donuts out of my cold dead hands, and so I was thinking, I'm like, am I going to be able to draw? With strong. So I moved everything in my weekend. I'm like, at least I'll draw strong side if I have to. But yeah, so I was going to go. Where you're going. Wait, said that, Michael. I think one-handed draw, especially with what happened to you, getting zeroed. So
Terrible moment.
one-handed drawing. We are not always going to have, like we've already said, we're always going to have perfect stance, perfect hand position.
Nope.
Draw with two hands, perfect meeting of the hands. And this actually kind of got me thinking a little more. I've taken classes where, and again, the point of the class is usually more competitive than it is defensive, at least lately with some of the instructors we've been with,
Sure.
where you get redos, right? Like we're doing
Mulligans.
some course of fire.
Mulligans.
You have a couple redos. Like if you don't get a good grip, then you call it, and then you get another one. These are, I really don't have a problem with it. But there's a big but here.
Real world, you don't get a redo.
Exactly. And I actually had that on my mind.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no. It's a real thing.
I don't get a redo. This guy with the shoulder holster, which honestly, it's as bad as he was trying to look. He wasn't threatening at all. He's not the one I was worried about. So, but if I have to draw on somebody or something, or where it is, like if I don't get a good grip, I got to figure it out.
Make it work.
Got to make it work.
Yeah, you can't be. Hey. Mulligan.
Well, again,
I'm gonna
Redo.
like if you could reholster, I'll reholster.
hold on. And then someone shot timer.
We're gonna start back to
let's
back.
Start this over.
I want to start back to back. Take 10 paces.
10 paces.
We should bring back dueling. I think that's a great idea.
Yes.
Game on.
That's actually a perfect example. Was I had one of the stages, there was in the woods, but we had light coming through. So I dimmed my optic way too low, right? So when I drew, it was like,
can't see it.
Where's the dot, right? So
Oops.
after 12 shots, I had a gap that I had to sprint to. I had to physically hit the dot button as I'm running, right? It's just one of those things we have to adjust on the fly. Like you said, I might not always have a good grip purchase, so it's a great way to practice. Well, I might not always have two hands, right? As you guys said, don't throw the kids. So I don't have kids. If I'm holding your kid, I'm launching your child. I would crawl, shoot, and catch them, right? That's the ideal dream. But you might have to shoot single hand. You might have to adjust it. So,
and you might have to shoot with your shirt caught in your grip.
We've all
that
had
happens to me. Happens to me all the time, especially when I'm trying to go faster than I should.
Yeah.
I end up with a shirt in my grip. And it's dangerous to try to shoot from that. So it's probably something worth spending a little time training for.
Yeah,
How do
absolutely.
I shoot with a shirt in my grip?
How do I shirt shoot?
How do I shirt
shoot.
How do I shirt with my
I
shirt?
don't want to know about that.
You tuck it in. You tuck it in.
On that note,
Hey, if you've never had to use a
All
sock as an emergency,
where's your sock?
I had Taco Bell. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
That's why you keep wipes in the vehicle, man.
At all.
He's got
I'll
them.
always
He's
have
got
wipes.
They're lead wipes too.
Through comments here. I think of a close honorable mention to that. Again, I was trying to come up with the three most likely. Close.
You missed a big one though, Greg.
What's that?
Doing reloads with your Neomag spare mag,
Yeah.
spare mag carrier, of course.
The moment of truth.
So I was say it's very close honorable mentions are reloads. If you carry a reload, practice those reloads. Even though this company got its start from a magnetic magazine holder, I also am a realist in that the chances of needing a reload are not great, but I think it's still a great idea to carry one just in case. Practice those, and then offhand draw as well, offhand shooting.
Honestly, offhand shooting is something I really do need to practice. I suck at offhand shooting. Bring
And
that left hand up.
offhand draw is not easy too.
Oh, yeah,
we're doing
Offhand
it
draw
tomorrow.
is a disaster.
Yeah, watch me shoot offhand. You're gonna watch the whole gun just like swirl around until the dot generally lands somewhere near the center of the target, and I'll squeeze off a shot.
I'm hoping I'm like super close if I ever had to use.
super embarrassing.
Yeah.
my opinion.
The distance shots were
Listen,
they're
no,
brutal.
left hand, I'm shooting and running. That's just a straight
over your head.
yes, exactly, Tib. Just back
Backwards.
over the head.
Okay, something else that I would say probably few people have experienced. I don't think it gets talked about enough. If you've ever done force on force, if you've ever done kind of not live fire, but if you've ever done use sims and that sort of thing, airsoft, whatever it is, you've done a fair amount, have you?
Yeah, I've done.
What's the first thing to get shot?
Your hands
Oh, your hands and
Your hands get shot
every time.
Your hands and your neck.
every time. My fingertips, I start wearing gloves when I do because my fingertips would get paintball is the same thing. Like just
It
if you ever
hurts.
done anything where you're shooting at each other, your hands are the first thing because what do
We're
people look
shooting
at?
at the gun. The
We
hands.
look at the gun and you're going to shoot at what you're
Yep.
looking at.
Yep.
You know, I'm not looking between the guy's eyes when he's pointing a gun at me. I'm looking at the gun. So practicing, there's a good chance your hands are going to get shot. So practicing one hand, I don't know how you practice with three fingers because you're probably going to end up missing one or two. I just try to shoot. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, there's a person that shoots without hands, so
If he can do it.
Yeah.
And then you need to practice putting a tourniquet on.
yeah. Put the tourniquet on with that. That's going to be interesting.
Shooting with
another
a
one.
tourniquet is fun.
You guys have taken the class. I know I had the opportunity of taking it at Shooter Symposium. Was ShivWorks was again force on force. Kind of the caveat to that was the vehicle combatives or combatives. It's just honestly, if we're ever going to be in a situation that we probably are going to use extreme violence with prejudice, right? We've crossed that threshold. We're probably going to be physical, right? So there's going to be hands-on. So I highly encourage, this kind of outside of dry fire, but be physically fit, be healthy, be able, but also take some basic training. I'm not telling you to go get your black belt in jiu-jitsu. That takes time and dedication, but have a little bit of understanding of how to defend yourself because the statistics don't lie. We're the altercations are shoulder width, arm lengths apart, right? I'm probably going to be in a fist fight before I determine I can't win this fight, right? And then I go to life or death, where I'm utilizing
My goal is to
deadly
be
force.
faster running away.
Yeah, exactly. De-escalation, get away. There's so many
Yeah.
things that do, positive identify the target, but the dry fire is a great predecessor for improving your skills on the range. Just don't let it be the only focus, because the mental aspect is what carries us as, again, responsible gun owners.
Yep. As a just side thought, we got the boot on Instagram?
Did we?
No, I'm asking.
Nope.
I didn't
Still
see it.
running.
Weird.
Still running.
All right. Let's head into our last segment here.
Oh.
So we're an hour and a half already.
Ready? Go.
Faith anchors us, fuel drives us. Let's open God's word and find the wisdom we need to live it out every day.
Yeah. Wish I had that guy's voice. Kind of do today because I have a cold.
He's going to have a Grammy.
Philippians 4:4-7. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So I picked this out. 2 reasons. One, it was on our little daily flippy thing a few days ago. But 2, it actually kind of came to mind too when I was thinking about what it was like in those days and months, even years after 9/11. There was a lot of anxiousness in that time of is there another attack coming? Are we going to war? Is war, just like there's so many what ifs and anxious things. But even that, if that's not in our minds now, I guarantee we all have things that we're anxious about. We all have things that's drawing our attention away. So what's your guys' thoughts on this?
I'm not gonna lie. I hear that first thing and I immediately go to the Sunday school song, "Rejoice in the Lord always," and I say rejoice. That's what I think of every single time.
Nice.
I thought we were going to VeggieTales for a second.
The hard part is I really struggle to read that verse and not just go off on the song tangent.
Nate was singing in his head while you were
100% I was. When I looked at the notes and I saw that, I started singing it in my head. That's where I go. The first part is very applicable. The second part, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. It's actually just practical advice. Honestly, if you believe that Christ is your savior, if you believe in God and you're anxious about something, pray about it and be shocked by what will happen. I'm not going to say that you're always going to immediately be free of anxiety. I'm not going to say that you're going to immediately not have or be at peace. That's not a guarantee that that's going to happen. But the amount of times that I've taken the time, like, I'm anxious about this, I'm going to take some time, pray about it, put some things, hey, Lord, I need you to take this off my plate. I thought about it too much. I just need to sleep tonight. Can you let me do that? And he takes it away. Doesn't mean it goes away forever.
No.
Because
nowhere in here does it say that your answers will be prayed and your problems will be taken away.
Correct. Right. Exactly. But it does say to, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds. It will guard.
Yep. It's
not, again, doesn't solve your problems. Doesn't mean the thing will go away, but it will help guard your heart and your mind. So pray about it. It's just it's practical advice. Do the thing.
Yeah. How about you guys?
I had a similar thought, when it says what's stealing your attention, what's causing you anxiety, what's taking your attention away and being content in life. Greg and I have talked about his father and how he's just a very content person and he's just happy with what he has. And I just had a brain fart there. Sorry. I forgot where I was going with it. But I guess just trusting the Lord in his plan. And how many times does it say, do not be anxious in the Bible? So many times. And just having faith and being content.
100%.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with what both you guys are saying. Just pray about it. There's a lot of things that can steal our attention. Anxiety is one of those that I think we've all experienced in one form or fashion in our life, if not an abundance with the world that we live in today and the stressors that are out there. With raising kids, I bet my anxiety would be through the roof at a concert going through that, right? But like you said, pray about it. Like at the end of the day, I've had some days that there is no amount of talking. There is no amount of anything that I can do or any other person can do that is going to stop my brain from having those moments of anxiety. And my result was, just, it doesn't have to be a long prayer. It doesn't have to be, I close my eyes, bow my head. I can be walking and talking to God, or I can be talking with him in my head. Right. But it's just got to put it in your hands. I let it go. And if it's for me, let it be. If it's not, take it from me. And that's the hard one, the anxiety of not knowing, but that's the gift of it too. It's just rejoice in what you have. Because if I'm anxious about something, odds are God's already brought it to me. He's brought it before me, and he's either going to allow me to have it and prosper with it, or he's going to take it away from me because he showed me what is good and what is wrong, or what is bad for me. So yeah, my tangent aside, it's, give it to God, pray about it, and let him make the deciding factor for you. And that, I think that anxiety is going to subside over time. It might not be like you said, Nate, it might not be right away. It might not be the next day. It might come back. But if you just keep rejoicing in what you have, where you're at, and what God has brought you to and is bringing you through, just be on the lookout for what he's going to bring you to next.
Yeah. And he might be leading you into something that is going to form you. And that's usually the things that form you usually aren't going to be easy.
Warriors weren't built from easiness.
It's going to be, iron sharpens iron, and we use, scripture talks about, forming pottery. Like there's molding, there's forming, and there's heat, and there's there's the things are. And honestly, I could pull at least a dozen stories from scripture of you have David in the wilderness fighting lions and bears and protecting his flock. That's training him up to one day be a king. And you have, there's so many stories of seeing hard times forming people for great things down the road. Yep. And so
absolutely
trusting God that whatever you're going through is training you up for something bigger that he has planned for you. And in that, seeking after God so that we seek his will, and then we end up in that situation that he wants us in, and not making a dumb decision, and it's something that we're not prepared for. I think there is and they kind of put you already kind of put an exclamation mark on this, but just the peace of God, peace of God, not the peace of us, not the peace of something our friends said, our family said, our spouse said, some ChatGPT told us, or whatever. Like we're not going to get peace from anything around us. True peace, the peace of God, which transcends all understanding. This is, we just have to trust that what he is going to do for us, we cannot understand. And that is the hardest thing. That's faith. That's definition of faith, is trusting the unseen and the unknowable to the one who knows all. And he wants to guard your heart and your mind, because your heart and your mind is the most precious thing to Christ. So he wants to protect us, and he wants to guide us. So,
and he wants us to walk with him.
100%. That's really all he wants. He wants our hearts. He wants us to follow him. He wants our hearts. Yes, he cares about what we do and all that, but really what he wants us to follow him closely. So whatever it is, if you're listening still, whatever it is that you are feeling anxious about, pray about it. Bring it to God. Bring it to his feet with prayer and petition. I also love that. Like he asked for petition. It is okay to, with thanksgiving and with, again, like he also said before this, rejoice. So we are rejoicing in our sufferings. We are rejoicing during these hard times, and with thanksgiving for what God is doing, or maybe it hasn't even done yet. With that in mind, with that being the posture of our heart, come to him with prayer and petition. It's okay to petition with God and say, I don't understand this. Can you do, it's okay to ask God, can you do this a different way? You can ask him. The answer is going to be yes, no, or not yet.
Yep.
And so it is okay to do that. He is asking us to do that. So.
Yep.
Tid?
Yep.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap us up today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Life, Liberty, and Equipped. If today's conversation challenged you, encouraged you, or helped you get more equipped to pursue your mission, share it with a friend, drop a comment, and leave us a review.
Don't forget, we go live on the Neomag YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be part of the next live show.
And if you're not already part of the Neomag Insiders Club, now's the time. Get early access to Neomag gear, exclusive content, and front row seats to everything we're building.
Until next time, live boldly, stand for liberty, and stay equipped. See you soon.
Thank you, everybody.
See you later.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today on the live podcast recording and participating. We had a lot of participation today. We really appreciate
That was awesome.
all you guys commenting, keeping us on our toes.
Woo-woo.
We really appreciate you guys. And we will see you next week.
See you later.
Bye.